So it's a great time to be alive and to have great choices.
I love that CF Moto has come out with this. I think that it's, like I said in the last video, only going to push the Xpedition to a new level. And there's some things on the spec sheets that I wanted to go over that I found, interesting, and I really like about the X10 or X Force, however you want to look at it. But this is kind of going to be a showdown between the two. And, for a lot of people, I don't know the pricing on this, CF Moto yet. But if they're priced like they have been previously, it's probably going to be $10,000 below what a Polaris Xpedition is for the same product. As in, if you went and bought a fully loaded Xpedition with heat and air. Now, the one thing they have not announced is the heat and air for the X10. But like I was showing in the video last night, it has the actual vents and stuff for the HVAC. So if you look here, like I said, you've got a vent here, you got a vent on the other side, you got your defrosters up top. So I think we're going to be getting that. And what they were saying is November to December in 2027. So we're still about a year and something away. And I almost feel like Polaris may have had an insight on this, and that's why they didn't do too much to the Xpedition, because they've got another year to really wait to add a turbo or something like that. Now, the X-Force or X10 has a 3-cylinder, 154 horse, 107 foot-pound of torque motor in it, where the Xpedition is 114 horsepower. So there's a big difference in horsepower. The one thing that I wonder is how loud, with a cab and everything, this machine will be having the turbo on it, because the Expeditions, all the ones I've seen that have been turbocharged, have been much louder once you turbocharge them. And that's one of the reasons I haven't done anything to my Xpedition like that. I would absolutely love to do something like that, but it just seems like it makes it louder on all the comments. I've tried reaching out to 2 or 3 of the companies, and they don't comment on that section at all. But anyway, we'll go to the main spec sheet first, in case you guys are just wanting to see the specs and bounce. I don't want to waste your time. And so if you want to go here, I've got all the specs wrote out for you. So if you look at the, don't pay any attention to the picture, that's AI putting them pictures in there. But if you look at the main pictures, you've got 40 more horsepower in the CF Moto versus the Xpedition. It's a 3-cylinder, which I like a 3-cylinder a lot better than a parallel twin. It's just inherently most of the time a better motor. But I've been seeing these Polaris Xpeditions with well over 10,000 miles, and they're still rocking like nothing. So I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing Rangers go for 20, 30,000 miles. So Polaris has something right. But the main things, if you're just wanting to know what the big advantages are on the CF Moto, the 3-cylinder turbocharged, you've got 154 horsepower, you've got a long travel suspension, and it's a trailing arm in the rear with 17 inches of travel and 15 in the front. So you're getting all around better suspension, you're getting more horsepower, and you're getting a trailing arm in the back. The next thing is the shock package. So you're getting a lot better shock package on the CF Moto versus Expedition. You're also getting a better touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and just a nicer all-round interior, in my opinion. But I'm going to show you both of them side by side, let you kind of be the judge for that. The steering wheel and everything in both of them are tilt and telescopic. But you're just, like I said, this on paper looks like it's rocking. And also you get beadlock wheels on this. You get a locking front end that's like a, you flip a switch and it locks. Now, I've never had any trouble out of the Polaris locking, but it's not per se a true locker. Both of them have 30-inch tires. You can adjust your suspension on the CF Moto. You cannot adjust your suspension on the Xpedition unless you add about $4,000 to $5,000 worth of stuff on it. So it's just, like I said, this, especially if it's $10,000 less, with the cab and the heat. Now, we don't have a cab and heat edition yet on the CF Moto, but this will kind of give you an idea between the two. And I mean, like I said, on paper, it blows the Xpedition out of water. Another thing we're going to look at is if you look at the seats. So on this, it's going to be a 4-seat or a 2-seat model. So if you have 5 people, then the CF Moto is going to be out of question because you're not going to be able to, ride be as comfortable. And most of the people that was reviewing this, that was actually getting in it, said you have plenty of room in the front. Leg room is excellent. You can see their bag accessories here. They've also got a plow on it from the factory and multiple other things. But they were saying that the rear didn't have a whole lot of room. Now, there's not a whole lot of room in the Xpedition. And these two machines are almost identical in spec as far as size and length and everything. We're going to look at their turning radius, which I found interesting. So you can see the shock in the rear is a lot bigger on the CF Moto, how long it is, for letting that trailing arm have better ride control and everything. This is just going to be an all-round excellent machine and a game changer for CF Moto. Here's the rear seat like I was talking about. This has a flip down console in it. I've got a picture of that. The console flips down here, and then at the top you've got all this mesh. So I really like how they made it. I mean, the seats just look like they spent a lot of time on them, kind of like something in like a high-end AT4X or something of that nature. It just looks cool, like in a Bronco style. Everybody says the doors shut really nicely on this. The doors shut really nicely on the Xpedition as well. Here is the interior cab with the buttons. Here's how you switch your shocks and everything. This is the start stop. Over here is your headlights and everything. Here locks in your locker and all that. I've got some closer up view of that. But here's the picture of that so you can see it. Let's get down here. So you've got auxiliary 3, auxiliary here, and then you've got lock, unlock, 2x4, 4x4. So see, you can put it in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, lock and unlock. So this doesn't have the turf mode like an Xpedition does, which is great until it's not great. So it's one of them things that if you like it and you need it, then great. But if you don't need it, it's one of the things you just want to stay away from. There's a lot of trouble with those. And it's just one of them things that you have to, I guess, if you like it, great. But if not, you need to take it out because a lot of people have trouble out of it. Here's the plow. They've got a plow for this that's coming as an accessory. They've got door bags. They've got rooftops that pop in and out, windshields. They've got the rear, like a tote that you can put in there that mounts in there, kind of like the Xpedition has. There's the bead locks from the factory. And here's the tire. I think it's a 14-inch rim. The Xpedition has a 15, but this has a bead lock on it from the factory, which is something I think all these machines should have. Because I've had 2 Polaris machines and I've rolled the wheel off the rim that wasn't a bead lock when I was riding. These are an ITP tire, so I would imagine that they would be an excellent tire. They look good from the front and everything. You can see them here. There's a view of the tread around it and everything. And then you can see your shocks up here. Like I said, I wish it had a bigger bumper on it. It has LED fronts, rear, all the way around. You got a little side step on it. But to me, they've just knocked this out of the park and done such a wonderful job. But the Polaris has another year to throw something at this. So they have plenty of time to go to the drawing board. So if you look at these two, like I said, one of the things that has always told me something about a company is what they believe in their product. And now, when you first bought an Xpedition, you just got a 6-month warranty. Now they're giving you a 2-year warranty with it. The X10 is only coming with a 1-year warranty, which is still great. But I've had a ton of people, that have said that there's little nitpicky things on these CF Motos. I do think that they're really stepping their game up and doing better. But one of the things I found interesting, we'll go to the brochure and I'll show you guys, and then we'll go to the spec sheet on the Xpedition and I'll show you something. So on the Xpedition, it's 87.5 inches long. Let's go over here and get this. So wheelbase to wheelbase is 87.5. And let's see if we can find, so 122.5. If you look at this, it's 122.5. And the X10 is 129 inches. So the X10 is longer than the Xpedition. But if you go to the turning radius on both of them, I found it earlier. So on the Polaris, the turning radius is 16.6 feet. So you've got a 16.6 turnaround radius on this. Now on the X10, so I couldn't find the 2-seater again, but I know it was like 16.2 or something on the 2-seater on the X10. But I went and found the 5-seater. So on the 5-seater Xpedition, I had to change it. It is a wheelbase of 152.5 inches. So 152.5 inches. The wheelbase on the X10-4 is 149. So it's shorter in the box part, which I don't know if it'll have in the bed or the cab less room. But the turning radius is 19.2 on the X4, and on the Xpedition, it's 20.4 right here. So you can see the turning radius. So the turning radius is more on the Xpedition, which is huge in, the woods. But I wonder where they took that room out. Is it in the body or the bed, or, where's it at for this machine? Because that makes a big difference on it. So, like I said, turning radius is huge when you're in tight spaces. And these machines, especially when you get in the X4 model and the XP5, you're talking already massive machines. So it takes a lot to turn them things around. But like I said, I think that they've got a, really, really big, advantage here in a lot of ways if they do well with the heat and air in the cab on it, which I don't know why they wouldn't. But they've got all kinds of accolades on their website. 4,500 pound winch, which is on par with what the Xpedition is. They talk about their chassis and everything and how it's a reinforced chassis and how rigid and stuff it is, as you can see here. I don't know, like I said, the torque is more, the horsepower is more. I want to see what the dry weight's going to be on this with the glass and everything in it, because it goes up dramatically. I like both the colors, everything about it, but the machine itself, like I said, I really think that it's going to be something that pushes Polaris to, I guess their machine would be 2028, because they've already announced 2027. But I think this is going to give everybody a good idea and, make Polaris either give us what we wanted and have more horsepower in this machine. And that's the thing, like everybody from an X3, I see it all the time on the forums. Everybody's coming from an X3 or a Pro R or anything, and they want to go to the Xpedition because you can ride it year round. Like we get in ours and drive all over the place, go to church in it, go eat in it, and go trail riding. And you can do it all in whatever clothing you want, and then you can get back in your $100,000 vehicle and drive off, and you're not, I mean, you don't care because it's so nice and you stay clean. When you get in something else, you know, you're getting dirty. So I don't know. I'm super excited about the X10. I wish they would have just went ahead and announced the cab, but they're doing it for a marketing deal, and they're wanting to get the hype going, and then they'll have a couple of different models of it, and they can scale it to where it, you know, makes more money. And I don't know. I mean, I like that, but I don't like that because I want to have everything right now. But I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Do you think that Polaris is going to step their game up and give us a bigger motor and stuff for the Xpedition? And what do you think that they're going to price this at when they put the windows and everything on it? I seen someone say that these were going to start at 25 to 27,000 as a base model. So, you know, I don't know if that's true, but I've seen someone say that, the X10. And I don't, like I said, if they do that and then they add all the other stuff, I wonder what it's going to be. But like I said, normally it's $10,000 below what an Xpedition is. So I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts. I mean, if you are looking at these two, are you going to wait and see what Polaris does next year? Or do you think they'll do anything? They're the number one selling units in the world. Polaris outsells everybody by 100,000 units. So pretty big margin in what they sell their sale. So I'll be curious how much this is going to change. And like I was saying in the other video, the ride command is 7 inches. This has a 12-inch screen in it. You also don't have Apple CarPlay or anything in the 7-inch display on the ride command. And also, when you connect your ride command to your phone, then it doesn't give you where you can talk on your phone. So if you're looking at the two here, you can see the difference in the interior. So both are really nice. I mean, I think that the air conditioning and everything is laid out way better in the Xpedition. And I think that I like the console here better because you have the cup holders and everything in a lot nicer place. This is placed really far behind you, so it's going to be harder to put your drink in there and everything. But I like the big display up here, but it's also in your way. You know, when you're looking, you can see where he's at, his field of view, and you can see where this field of view is. This is tucked down. So this also has speakers up here and in the door and a subwoofer here. I don't know how it's set up in this one, but I mean, the Xpedition is an excellent unit. We've had ours and we love it. Like so far, we've not found anything we want more. So it's you know, it's going to be interesting to see these two compete, and I'll be excited to get my hands on one.